Isn't that an issue in all our communities? Not just the older people are afraid to correct the younger people, but the young people don't want to be correct by the old. You correct a young man out here, he pulling out a gun. Because you saying, hey, brother, I love you. You shouldn't smoke cigarettes. Put the cigarette down. What nigga? Pow. We don't like correction, and we're afraid to give correction. But God says, when you don't want to accept it or don't want to give it, you hate your people. Why? Because you're suffering sin upon them. First, let's start with love. Do y'all know how we love each other? What is love? Do you know what love is? You said respect?
Love is compassion for someone or something.
Okay, compassion from someone or something. What about you?
Doing others without expecting.
Okay, so being selfless, right? What about you, Sherry?
Empathy and sympathy for others.
Okay, empathy and sympathy for others. Okay, so y'all not wrong, but we gonna get the correct answer from God in the Bible on what love is. Because it's actually something simple.
Right.
It's very simple. God is a plain person. Read. I'm sorry, he makes it plain. Read.
1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So my brother with the gray hoodie, what's your name? What's your name, sir, with the gray hoodie? Sean? Rashad? All right, hey, Sherry, listen to this. Read.
For this is the love of God.
Because this is the love of God. The same love that we supposed to, I'm trying to show y'all love because Chicago don't have that, right? Stay. Hey, we don't have that as a people. That's what we need to learn what love is. Y'all listening, Curtin Moses? Read.
That we keep his commandments.
So keeping God's commandments is love. Keeping his commandments is love. Read.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And his commandments ain't grievous. They're not a detriment to our community. They will not destroy you. They'll actually uplift you and make you a better person. That's what love is. That's what love is. So what y'all, besides killing one another, what else? Cheating on sleeping with somebody's wife, stealing from them. Let's get into what hate is. What our number one problem, where the root of all our hate starts. Go ahead. What's your question?
So basically, how many commandments are there? It's over 600.
It's a lot of them. To answer your question.
So, in order to inherit the kingdom, you got to keep all of them.
Let's see. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Because like I said, the law of animal sacrifice, we don't keep anymore. Because Christ already came in his ultimate sacrifice. Believe it or not, Kurt, we keep more laws in our captivity under the white man than we ever did in the Bible as a people. It's so many traffic laws that we keep. It's so many laws we keep on the job. We've been messed up. Absolutely.
Our grandmother take us to Christian church. They want us to be Catholic.
So let's start with because there are easier laws to keep. Let's start with those. Let's start with them first. All right. Give me that in Leviticus 19 and 17. Because the issue is we don't show love to each other, which means we hate one another, right? If you don't love nobody, you're showing hate. Right or wrong? Let's get that. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17.
And we're going to show how we show our hate as a people. Read.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Read it again.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Because the commandments like thou shalt not steal, kill, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. I'm gonna answer your question. So how do we hate each other in our mind? Because your heart is your mind when it's speaking in the Bible. How do we show our hate towards one another? Read.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
What does the word rebuke mean? Okay. Rebuke means correct. Correct. To a sharp correction, meaning that you, let's say, like you see a young boy sagging his pants. Brother, pull your pants up. That's rebuking. Isn't that an issue in all our communities? Not just the older people are afraid to correct the younger people, but the young people don't want to be correct by the old. You correct a young man out here, he pulling out a gun. Because you saying, hey, brother, I love you. You shouldn't smoke cigarettes. Put the cigarette down. What nigga? Pow. We don't like correction, and we're afraid to give correction. But God says, when you don't want to accept it or don't want to give it, you hate your people. Why? Because you're suffering sin upon them. Your children, you love them, right? So if they did something wrong, you gonna correct them, right? You heard of the scripture, spare the rod, spoil the child. If you spare the rod, you hate your son. Right. It ain't just the child gotta obey the mother and father. The father and mother gotta raise them and correct them. Under the laws of God, you absolutely right. But if we don't do that, we hate our people. That is an issue. Read the second verse. Read.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Don't our people hold grudges? We hold grudges over simple stuff too. You can't do that. That is sin. That is sin. We can't hold grudges. Any issues you got with your brothers, you're supposed to let that thing go. You got to talk it out. Hey, bro, you did this. Hey, that wasn't right. Go ahead. Yes, these right. It said, hold on. I'm gonna have a matter of fact.
You're missing everything.
You hate the white man, right?
Of course, God hate him. Read.
It's Saturday.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So thy people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, read.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
So loving your neighbor as yourself is talking about the love that you show for these people. Of course you ain't supposed to kill the other nations and stuff. No, you ain't supposed to murder nobody, but the love you're supposed to show is the people on this side.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.